New streets, new signals. Gratitude builds momentum. Mara stepped off the bus with one suitcase and the feeling that her life had just been gently tipped upside down. The city smelled like rain on concrete and coffee brewing somewhere she couldn't see. People moved past her with purpose, as if they had appointments with futures already in progress. She stood there a moment too long, letting doubt hover. What if this was a mistake? What if starting over was harder than staying put? She felt the familiar tightening in her chest, the beginning of a downward spiral she knew too well. A single uneasy thought trying to gather momentum. Mara closed her eyes and exhaled slowly. "Not today," she whispered. She reminded herself why she came. Not to be fearless, not to have everything figured out, but to choose better feeling thoughts when it mattered. Her apartment was small, bright, and quiet in a way that felt temporary. Boxes lined the walls like unopened questions. She set her suitcase down and listened to the unfamiliar hum of the building settling around her. The first night felt longer than it needed to be. Every creak sounded important. Every silence felt personal. Old habits tried to resurface, replaying worst-case scenarios, imagining loneliness as a permanent condition. She caught herself mid-thought and sat on the floor instead. From her backpack, she pulled out a yellow notebook. On the first page, she wrote carefully, "Today I start momentum." She didn't force positivity. She reached for honesty that felt slightly better. "I'm grateful I arrived safely. I'm grateful I have a place to sleep. I'm grateful I was brave enough to come." Her shoulders softened as she wrote. Nothing in the room changed, but something in her did. The next morning, Mara woke before her alarm. For a moment, uncertainty waited politely at the edge of her awareness. She noticed it and chose not to invite it in. She sat on the edge of the bed and spoke softly, "This is the best day of my life." It didn't need to be proven. It just needed to be practiced. She wrote a short gratitude list before leaving the apartment. Then she stepped outside and let the city meet her halfway. 3 blocks down, she found a cafe with warm light and mismatched chairs. The chalkboard sign read, "Try the cinnamon roll, it helps." She ordered coffee and opened her notebook by the window. The barista glanced at the yellow cover and smiled. "New here?" the barista asked. "Yeah," Mara said, "still learning the rhythm." "I'm Jenna," the barista said. "You picked a good morning spot." Something about that sentence felt reassuring. Mara added a new line to her notebook. "I'm grateful for small confirmations." Her first week at work followed the same pattern: new names, gentle awkwardness, quiet victories. She noticed how her mornings shaped her days. On days she wrote appreciation first, things unfolded more easily. When she forgot, the world seemed to mirror that tension back to her. By Friday, she trusted the pattern. That evening, she returned to the cafe. Jenna recognized her instantly. "You survived your first week," Jenna said. "I think gratitude carried me," Mara replied, half joking. Jenna nodded seriously. "It does that." They talked between customers about moving, about feeling invisible at first, about learning to let a city see you. Before Mara left, Jenna smiled and said, "There's a farmer's market by the river tomorrow. I go with my friend Priya. You should come." Mara felt the old hesitation rise, the instinct to decline before hope could form. She noticed it. Then she chose again. "I'd like that," she said. Saturday morning arrived bright and open. Mara wrote in her notebook before getting dressed. "I'm grateful I said yes. I'm grateful momentum is building." The market buzzed with life. Jenna waved, and beside her stood Priya, calm, welcoming, grounded. "I'm glad you came," Priya said, like it mattered. They wandered together, sharing lemonade, stories, laughter. Mara noticed how easy it felt, not forced, not rushed. At the river's edge, she realized something important. She wasn't trying to belong anymore. She was allowing it. That night, back in her apartment, Mara opened her notebook one last time. "I'm grateful I trusted the process. I'm grateful appreciation became movement. I'm grateful this city is responding." Outside, the city continued its quiet rhythm. Inside, Mara felt steady. Not finished, but aligned. And that was enough to build a life from.